Game of Thrones will forever be one of the hottest shows in TV history, both in popularity and, dragons, so it's not super shocking that a prequel is in the works. HBO and George R.R. Martin are starting to let a few more details slip beyond the wall now that people have, for the most part, calmed down since the Thrones season finale. So here's what we know so far about the prequel. But hold up, we're in this watch together, so go down there and hit subscribe. If you don't, well, you know what they do to deserters. And don't do that to Ned, he's been through enough. First up, who's running this party? Benioff and Weiss aren't in the picture anymore, no comment. So we'll see Jane Goldman, who's known for her work on Kick-Ass, Kingsman: The Secret Service, and the X-Men franchise, serving as the showrunner. She's also credited as the project's creator and executive producer, alongside A Song of Ice and Fire author George R.R. Martin. We also know that S.J. Clarkson, who's known for her work on Netflix's Jessica Jones and HBO's Succession, will be directing the pilot episode. It's undetermined who will direct any further episodes if HBO decides to officially keep the show. I know what you're thinking, yeah, that's cool, but what in the Westeros is it even about? The show will supposedly center around a, quote, charismatic socialite hiding a dark secret, according to HBO. It's set to take place 5,000 years before the events in Game of Thrones, specifically towards the end of the Age of Heroes and leading into the Long Night. According to HBO, it will explore the horrifying secrets of Westeros' history, the true origins of the White Walkers, the mysteries of the East, and the Starks of legend. Basically, Old Nan would eat this up. George R.R. Martin also gave us a more detailed look at what Westeros itself looked like back in 5000 BT, that's before Thrones. And we've got some good news and bad news. Bad news, at least for the characters, Martin confirmed in an interview with Entertainment Weekly that the White Walkers will be a huge focus, as the events of the prequel will lead up to the Long Night, aka the first coming of the White Walkers during a winter that lasted a generation. But Martin also said while he can't confirm the title of the pilot, his preferred option is in fact the Long Night. Good news, there are over 100 kingdoms across the continent to go up against the Icy Boys, which is way more than the 6 kingdoms we left off with. It'll be pre-Iron Throne, but Martin said they're still hella petty with each other, so give me all that political drama. Some more bad news, especially for Dany fans. Out of all 100 kingdoms, not a single Targaryen will be around yet, as the rise of Valyria has hardly even started. That means no dragons yet either, but maybe that's a good thing, considering how things turned out last time. Good news, Martin said we'll still see some dope creatures like mammoths and direwolves roaming the north. Bad news, the direwolves didn't have the best of luck with the Starks and Thrones, and since the family is a big part of the new show, we're probably in for a lot of pain and heartache again. Yes, I'm still mad at Jon, don't at me. Martin also said the Lannisters aren't around yet, which could be good news or bad news depending on your loyalties, but Casterly Rock is still rockin', and it'll actually be occupied by its namesake, the Casterlys, in the prequel. That means we might get to see the beginning of House Lannister, as the Casterlys did eventually lose their home to Lan the Clever, aka the founder of House Lannister. We don't know exactly who will be playing who yet, but we do know that it'll be another ensemble story, like Thrones. Martin said, as you know, for Game of Thrones, we never even nominated anybody for lead actress or lead actor during awards season until recently. It was always for supporting categories because the show is such an ensemble. I think that will be true for this show too. We don't have leads so much as a large ensemble cast. One of the headliners for the cast is Oscar nominee Naomi Watts, who will be that charismatic socialite with a lot of secrets that we mentioned earlier. Gotta say, I'm getting some serious Cersei vibes. Other cast members include Josh Whitehouse, Naomi Ackie, Denise Goff, Jamie Campbell Bower, Sheila Atim, Ivano Jeremiah, Georgie Henley, Alex Sharp, and Toby Regbo. Newer additions to the cast include Miranda Richardson, Marquise Rodriguez, John Sim, Richard McCabe, John Heffernan, and Dixie Egerix. Basically, you're gonna have to keep track of hella characters again. Sorry. Anyway, considering Thrones just ended, we probs won't see this for like a while, right? Wrong. It already started filming in June 2019 in Northern Ireland, so we could see it by spring 2021, if it does in fact make it to series. But knowing George R.R. still hasn't finished book 6, Martin, we'll just have to wait and see about that. Until then, more is bound to come out, especially when it comes to who's playing who. There are also a few other Game of Thrones spin-offs in the works, though we don't know much about those as they're still in the early stages of development. So you're going to want to stick with CinemaBlend for all the Game of Thrones related updates. And the best way to do that? Go down and hit subscribe. Take the oath and join the Thrones Watch with us because, not to sound dramatic, but winter is coming again.